Over at Hot Air, a great website if you want to check it out, Hillary and Bill Clinton, you know, those scrappy, once impoverished president and first lady, are strong backers of confiscatory estate tax rates for wealthy people. During her failed 2008 presidential run, Hillary explained to voters in New Hampshire why she believed high death taxes on wealthy families' estates are not only fair but represent American values. This is important because this again demonstrates how the left is full of millionaire, billionaire hypocrites. Hillary said, quote, back in '08, the first question from the audience after Clinton's speech came from a woman who challenged her plan to pay for universal retirement accounts by freezing the estate tax at 2009 levels. The woman said the money from inheritance had already been taxed when it was earned, and she felt taxing it a second time was the wrong way to fund Clinton's plan. She said, quote, people disagree about this, but the estate tax, which came into being by Republicans like Teddy Roosevelt and others, and has been part of our tax system for a very long time, is there for a real simple reason, she said. In America, we've never liked the idea of massive inherited wealth. Massive inherited wealth isn't the American way, you see. The rich people ought to pay their fair share, plus we earn our keep in this meritocracy of ours. Hillary expounded upon her populist tax policy, they write at Hot Air, in a message during a 2007 debate. The alternative minimum tax was intended for people who were rich and evading taxes. I think my husband was expressing an opinion that a lot of people have been very fortunate and blessed over the last 6.5 years feel. You know, we have not been asked to sacrifice anything. Wow. So what's going on with Hillary and Bill and all the rest? Well, they've set up these special accounts, you see. Hillary says she's a great admirer of this sort of a tax. And yet we learn this. You ready? This is the key. Bill and Hillary Clinton have long supported an estate tax to prevent the U.S. from being dominated by inherited wealth. That doesn't mean they want to pay it, though. To reduce the tax pinch. Now remember, B.J. Bill Jefferson Clinton, big dummy. He's earned over $100 million giving speeches. The other big dummy, the rabid poodle, Al Gore, he's earned with speeches and so forth over $150 million. Do you believe this? It's unbelievable. These guys have never done a damn thing. And now Hillary, she's tasted wealth and she likes the taste, among other things. To reduce the tax pinch, the Clintons are using financial planning strategies benefiting the top 1% of U.S. households in wealth. These moves, common among multimillionaires, will help shield some of their estate from the tax that now tops out at 40% of assets upon death. The Clintons created residence trusts in 2010 and shifted ownership of their New York house into them in 2011, according to federal financial disclosures and local property records. Now, among the tax advantage of these trusts is that any appreciation in the house's value can happen outside their taxable estate. The move could save the Clintons hundreds of thousands of dollars in estate taxes, said David Scott Sloan, a partner at Holland and Knight in Boston. The goal is really to be thoughtful and try to build up the non-taxable estate, and that's really what this is, he said. You're creating things that are going to be on the non-taxable side of the balance sheet when they die. Isn't that nice? I never heard of this. I got to talk to my accountant. What the hell? I never heard of this. In her last campaign, Clinton supported making wealthier people pay more estate tax by capping the per-person exemption at $3.5 million and setting the top rate at 45%, a policy that Obama still supports. So the Hillary-Obama plan would have substantially lowered the exemption threshold to ensnare more people, in addition to hiking the rate even higher than it became after 2013's fiscal cliff deal. But the Clintons found a way around it for themselves. I called people like this Mercedes Marxists, because that's what she is. She should be able to acquire all she wants, and her husband too, and the Obamas too, and anybody who's out there trying to remake America and redistribute wealth and worried about inequality. They're raking it in hand over fist. They haven't actually produced anything. They haven't actually invented or created anything. And they're raking it in, talking about inequality. They're wealthier than they've ever been in their lives, creating policies that make people poorer than they've ever been in their lives. And then they dare to wax eloquently, or not so much, about inequality. When in fact, that's what they create. When in fact, that's their big issue. Another issue they play, the gay issue, the transgendering issue, the bisexual issue. You know, so much of this is odd to me. Like bisexuals should have certain rights? What is that? Or somebody who decides to change their sex, their genitalia? What is that? I mean, fine, do whatever you want. Leave me the hell alone. That's all I ask. You want to be left alone, now leave me alone. But there it is, in our face, day in and day out, and day in and day out. Country's going to hell. But these are the big issues. Why? Because Obama wants them to be the big issues, and so the Praetorian media, the Praetorian Guard media, protect their man. I keep it, well, they're turning on Obama. Like hell. If they were turning on Obama, they'd treat him like Nixon by now. But they don't, do they? So there's Obama. New war has broken out in Iraq. They're begging for help. Russia's still moving on the Ukraine, sending tanks in. China's on the move. Communism is spreading in our hemisphere. Our southern border is non-existent. We have third world refugees sitting there. Not even sitting there. Pouring over there by design, damn it. Comprehensive immigration reform. Do you realize how stupid that sounds right now? Why? Are the Guatemalans going to participate? Are the Salvadorans going to participate? Their government's going to participate? Oh, we have comprehensive immigration reform. Well, we don't. We have anarchy. Well, then we just need to pass just fix the damn border.